أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أياما معدودات فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر وعلى الذين يطيقونه فدية طعام مسكين فمن تطوع خيرا فهو خير له وأن تصوموا خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. Dear friends, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I recited Surah Baqarah Ayat number 184. This ayat tells us about the fasting of Ramadan, and the people who are traveling or who are ill. So it has commands of Allah about those people also, and we can read first, then you will understand, inshallah. So first of all, Allah said ayyamam maduda. Ayyam is the plural of yawm. In Arabic, yawm mean the day, ayyam mean the days. Ayyam, days. Maduda mean numbered. You can number the days. You can see all the days of fasting in Ramadan. They are 29 or 30. So you can number quickly. You can say today is the one day, second day, third day. So fasting will finish. The whole month of the fasting finish quickly. You number days. Now is third day of fasting finish, fourth day finish, fifth day finish, and then now 10-day finish. Then automatically you number. So numbering the days. So this is the number. Allah said, so ayyamam madudat. So these are the days which are numbered. The fasting days are numbered. So we can see this one. If you look the fasting that started from Adam alayhi salam to the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he migrated from Mecca to Medina. So there was the fasting of 3 days were compulsory. So Nuh alayhi salam and the Ummah of Nuh alayhi salam, and after him it was the uh, tradition of all Ummah to fast 3 days a month. So this was also done by Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he came to Medina after migration from Mecca. So he also started, and the companions of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they also started to keep fasting 3 days a month. So it was compulsory before the fasting of whole Ramadan. So every month they were to keep fasting 3 days a month. Mostly it was the 13th, 14th, and 15th of the Islamic month. So fasting. Then when Allah sent command to keep fasting in Ramadan the whole month, then these 3 days fasting became only Sunnah, and the fasting the whole month of Ramadan became compulsory for every Muslim who follow the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or who is the member of Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam Ummah. So fasting in Ramadan is compulsory. If you look the fasting, like for example, the 3 days a month. So how many month total? 12. 12 times 3, 36. And 36 times 36 days the whole month, whole year. So the fasting was like this. But the Holy Prophet ﷺ, when he came in Medina and he has seen the Jews, they were keeping fast on the day of 10th Muharram, the fasting of Ashura. So they were also having that one. The Holy Prophet ﷺ said, why you are fasting on 10th of Muharram? They said, on this day we got freedom from the Fir'aun. So this way we thank Allah just to keep fasting. Then the Holy Prophet ﷺ said, we are also to fast on this day to thank Allah also. So then the Prophet ﷺ also started. So it means then the this was additional fasting. So it was now 36 plus 1, 37. So the 37 fasting days throughout the year. But when Allah's command came to keep fasting the whole Ramadan, so it Ramadan is 29 days or maybe 30 days. So you can say and look the compare the fasting that was about 37 days. Now Allah gave us only 30 days or 29 days. So we it is for us too much easy because number have been decreased from 36, 37 to 29 or 30. That is only Ramzan. So we have to keep fasting in Ramzan. So Alhamdulillah. So this way Ayyam Maduda. So the Maduda mean those days were numbered. Before it was 3 days a month. Then when the Ramzan came, then the month of Ramzan, the fasting in Ramzan, these are also numbered. You can also see quickly the days they finish. This way, these are the days which are numbered. Quickly finish. This way, Allah said, the days of the fasting are numbered. Ayyam madudat. Allah tells us next, Faman kana. So, the person who kana minkum maridan, who is sick or ill among you. So, the person who is sick or ill among you, Aw ala suffering. Aw mean or. Allah suffering or who is in journey or traveling. So the person who is ill or who is sick or who is in journey, so Allah gave them freedom from fasting. So they are not allowed to keep fasting until they will like the if a person who is in traveling until he will come back to his or her house. So when they come, then they have to keep fasting the days which were in the journey or in traveling. Like Allah said, fa'iddatun. So you have to count the numbers. Min ayyamin, those days, ukhar. So which you left, and ukhar mean after. Then you have to complete is this one after when you came back. So you have to look first to how many days were you in journey or how many days you were in your traveling. You have to count those days, and then when you come back to home, then you have to keep fasting of those days in which you were in journey. So it means you have to keep fasting of those days until the next Ramadan comes. Because in the Ramadan, so the Ramadan, the fasting will be compulsory again. So you have to fulfill this before Ramadan. So this way is important. So similarly, if a person who is ill, So if illness will finish, when illness finish, during the illness, Allah gave the freedom for the person not to keep fast. When illness will finish, then person must count how many days he or she was ill, and then those days need to complete. It means need to keep fasting until the next Ramadan, so that the fasting will be balanced for that person. But if a person who has a disease, there is no any treatment, and disease is continue, and no any treatment for that disease, and the person is not feeling well, and continue throughout the year in disease, and or the person who is very old can't have ability to keep fasting, and that person or the person who has a disease for every time, so these two persons they are allowed um, to give food to a person who is maskeen, so like food for two times, because mostly the fasting is done like in sehri and aftar. So in the morning time, before morning, you have to keep fasting. That time person need food, and at the time of breaking the fasting after maghrib, the person need food, so two time. So it means the person gave food to the maskeen, the food which was to eat by the person. So if a person who was to eat the food, same type of food, like if a person who was to keep fast, so during the keep fasting time, the person which type of food person was to eat, the same type of food must be given to the maskeen. Some people say, oh no, just to give them the like easy food, like simple one. But this food must be given the same as the person. If the person was to keep fasting, so which type of food the person was to take, same type of food must be given to the maskeen. So as a fidya, so this is at ransom. So this is very important also. So so this is for the compensation of the fasting. So Allah gave the special concession to the people also. So this way, faman kana minkum maridan, if a person who is ill for among you, and that person should not keep fasting until the person is ill. When illness finish, then count the days, how many days the person was ill. So he or she has to keep fasting of those days, and complete them before coming the next Ramadan. So next Allah said, "Oh Allah suffering," or the person who is in journey or traveling, and how many days the person was in traveling. So count the days, and those days uh, must keep fasting before coming the next Ramadan. So so that it will be balanced. Next ayat, the part of the ayat is cancelled, is abrogated, and this is ayat, mashallah, in Holy Quran, and we have to read it, and we get the reward of reading. But the next ayat is also having the command of Allah to keep fasting the whole Ramadan. So this way, uh, this ayat is abrogated, and the other ayat will have the place of this one in command of Allah, that we have to keep fasting the whole month of Ramadan. So we read this ayat, other part. Allah said, "Wa alallazina," and those from you who are yutikunahu, who can afford it. It means who the people who can afford to keep fasting. Fidyatun, they can give the fidya, ta'amu miskin, to a person who is poor. So poor person mean the miskin person. They have to give food to the miskin. So this faman tatawwa, if they if how however if they become volunteer, they can give more. Khairan, that will be good for them. Fahuwa khairul lahu, and that will be better for them. So it means if they give food to one maskeen is or they give more than one maskeen, so that will be more better than them for them also. So this Allah said about them. Actually, this was the order of Allah when it was in the beginning of fasting, because Allah gives Allah's commands. Mostly we can see that the commands of Allah came to us slowly, like one, then after other, then the whole command complete. Like you can see the alcohol. First of all, Allah gave the Allah's command about the alcohol, that alcohol, drinking alcohol is sinful, but it is sin is more than the benefit. So it mean it is so much sinful that it's sinful is more than the benefit of this alcohol. Then Allah said that no one is allowed when have drinking alcohol or something, then or intoxicant, they're no allowed to pray or no allowed to go near to salah when a person is under intoxicant or alcohol drinking. So then third time, and a third time in ayat it comes that now alcohol drinking is completely forbidden and haram. So slowly Allah sent, like you can see the salah, when the people they were praying like salah behind the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Even when one person was going to join the salah, when they were in second rakah or third rakah, and the person was just to say the next one, oh brother, tell me which rakah is this one. So the other person was to tell that person that yes, this is second rakat and third rakat. So talking was allowed during the salah in the beginning, but then it was banned. So similarly, this is the trend of Allah for the people, so that they should make the habit to do the activity or the Allah wants. So they have to complete the order of Allah. So like the fasting. So first of all, Allah persuaded the people, motivated the people, and make the habit of the people to do the fasting. So this way, first of all, Allah said, from you, if a person who can even afford to keep fasting, but if not to do the fasting, so the person can give the food to a maskeen, so that will be okay. And then Allah said, if a person faman tatawwa khairan, if the person is just to give the food not to one maskeen, to more masakin, two masakin, three masakin, that will be fahuwa khairul lahu, that will be more better than that one. But Allah said next, wa antasumu, if the person is just to keep fasting, khairun lakum, then it is better for the person, in kuntum talamun, if you know. So this will be better for you to keep fasting. So in the beginning, this ayat is in the beginning of the fasting. When the fasting order, fasting command came in the beginning, so this ayat is representing that time, that at that time when Allah started to persuade the people, to make the habit of the people to keep fasting. So Allah said that if a person, even if a person can afford to keep fasting, if the person who can keep fasting also can afford the fasting, but if the person will give food to a maskeen and is not to keep fast, no problem, we will accept. So Allah said, I will accept this. So but if the person faman tatawwa khairan, if the person is just to give the food to not one masakin, to other masakin, 2%, 3%, two masakin, three masakin, to give food to them also, fahuwa khairul lahu, it will be more better. But Allah said, which is more better than that one? Wa anta sumu, and if you keep fasting, that fasting is more better than giving the food to the maskeen. Khairul lakum in kuntum ta'lamun, if you know, that will be more better for you. But this part of the ayat is abrogated now, is not under command now. It is it's act upon this part of the ayat is not allowed now, because the fasting in Ramadan is compulsory for everyone now. So alhamdulillah, so this part of the ayat is in Holy Quran but is not under action. So we are not to act upon it, but we have to act upon, like the next ayat we will read, in which Allah said that when a person is just to find the Ramadan, then have to keep fasting throughout the Ramadan. So that is allowed now. So this way, this part of the ayat is not under action now. So we are not to act upon it, but we have to read it, because this is the ayat of Holy Quran. And when we read any ayat of Holy Quran, every letter of Holy Quran gives us reward equal to 10 times. So we get the rewards, alhamdulillah, of reading of this one also. So this way, this ayat, the first part is like Allah said, ayyam maduda. So the fasting is the numbered, so the days of the fasting are numbered. Like in the beginning I told you that it was about 3 days a month, but then the order of Allah, command of Allah came to keep fasting throughout the Ramadan, the full month. Then it was compulsory for us to keep fasting the whole month of Ramadan. So the days are numbered. You can also look the number, the days quickly finish. Then Allah said, "Faman kana minkum maridan." If a person who is ill, so that person is allowed up to the time the person is ill. Keep in mind the number of days the person was ill. When the person become healthy, then have to start again. How many days left fasting? So have to fulfill that. And then Allah said, "Oh, Allah suffering," or a person who is in a journey or traveling. So during the journeys, how many days the person was in journey? So keep in mind. And then when coming before the next Ramadan, to complete or to fulfill those days which were in journey or in traveling. So we have to keep fasting on those days also, for those days. So that is compulsory also. فَعِدَّةٌ مِّنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرَ. So we have to keep counting of those days, and we have to complete those days which were spent in the illness or in the traveling. So we have to keep fasting of these days until coming the next Ramadan. And then next part of the ayat, which is not we are not to act upon it now, but it is part of the Holy Quran. So Allah said, "Wa alal lazina yutikunahu," and the person who can afford fasting, fidyatun, the person even if not to keep fast and give the fidya, ta'amu miskin, food to the miskin. So no problem. If a person is not to keep fast but give the food to the miskin, is allowed also. And faman tatawwa khairan, if the person is just to give food not to one miskin but more than one, fahuwa khairul lahu, so this will be more better for the person. Wa anta sumu, and if the person is just to keep fasting, khairul lakum, that is more better also for you, in kuntum talamun, if you know. So this Allah said. So this way, that is very important for us today, that we understand fasting is very important. Even you can see Ans bin Malik radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he was very weak when he became old, and then he was not to keep fast. Then he was to give food not to one maskeen but to three masakin. So, mashallah, he was to feed three persons, three masakin also, because he was old person. He was not to keep fasting, so he is done this one also. So this way, Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he was on journey or traveling, so sometime he was to keep fasting, sometime no. So it mean, so that is depending on us. If we find that the journey is easy for us, then we have to keep fasting. But if the journey is hard, then we have to leave the fasting and count the days. Then we have to keep fasting when we will be back after journey. So this way the fasting is very important also. Fasting is a treatment for the diseases also. Typhoid, joint pain, and liver diseases, kidney diseases, sick skin diseases, sugar, eye diseases, intestine weakness, anemia, and blood diseases, cancer. These all diseases becomes better if a person is just to keep fasting. So alhamdulillah, so much better for us. And the other thing is that when a person is going to Hajj and at the day of Arfa, so like the ninth of Zul Hajj, so the fasting is not allowed because this is in Abu Huraira radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He revealed that the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he forbid us that not to keep fast on the Yom Arfa, at the day of Arfa. So you are not allowed to keep fasting. This hadith is in Abu Dawud also. So fasting is very important. I told you that if a person who has different type of problems, even the women who are under menses or those days, so they have to keep those days in mind, 5 days, 7 days, how many days. So then they have to like in the Ramadan. So in the Ramadan, if any woman she was suffer into the menses periods, so she must count those days, and before coming the next Ramadan, she has to keep fasting those days which were spent in the menses. So that is compulsory for them also. Very important, and also it is they have to do it. So, Alhamdulillah, fasting is very important for us. Because of the fasting, the person becomes spiritual powers becomes increased, and the person patience is increased, tolerance is increased, and the qualities like the angels they are produced in the person, and the mind of the person becomes fast, and the eyesight becomes better, and the ways of shaitan to go into the body are reduced due to fasting. Fasting is very important for us. We have to keep fasting and we have to thank Allah. Alhamdulillah, this is also treatment for our body also, and also it is the food for of our soul also, our ruh. So Alhamdulillah, we have to be thankful to Allah that Allah gave us these special blessings of Ramadan, and Ramadan is the better because in Ramadan, so if we do one good act, we get the reward equal to 70s or multiple of that one. So Alhamdulillah, Allah is happy with us. Allah is blessed. Allah's blessings are falling every time upon us. We must be thankful every time, and Allah will give us more and more and the blessings and mercies every time, inshallah.